Why, hello there again, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Just before I was going to start, my mouse stopped working, so that was exciting. We're always here for a little bit of an unexpected excitement, aren't we? You certainly are. So, we're going to try and get started with this Star Trek session. Once more on the USS Hope. And we've got a little supplementals captain's log to read out. I've kept on intending on kind of sitting down and doing more of this, but every time I do, I just don't get on with it. And but here we are today. Let's get back to it. So, Captain's Log Supplemental. We arrived on the Trenor Omega 21 system to deliver construction materials for a new Starfleet weapons facility, but have found upon arrival that the facility has been locked down, apparently due to some unknown contagion, according to one Lieutenant Commander Dr. Henry Blake. We will proceed as necessary. Now, last time we came to the conclusion that we were going to send down a team of medical personnel, but we were going to do a scan of a facility. Now, I am going to spend 2 of this threat that we've generated to create a... And let's go here, because you've not seen the bridge yet, have you? No. Boop, 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 boop. Now, come on. Come on, you. There we go. Stop complaining. Perfect. Here's our bridge. Ooh, isn't it nice and bridge-like? So, I'm going to create a trait on this game field. I think they're here. No? Are they here? There we are. Facility hardened to sensors. And we'll make it red. And we'll stick it on here. Boop. Don't know why. There we go. Perfect. Facility hardened to sensors. So, our sensor person. Who's our sensor person? I don't know. I can't remember. It could be anybody. USS Hope. Supervisors. Are we Dorgon? Chief of Security. Are we definitely with Chief of Security? Yeah, they're definitely with Chief of Security. Dorgan will be on sensors, and he turn around and I'll try and do sensors. And of course, the character can't do sensors. The facility is hardened to our sensor systems, Captain. Well, that would make sense, I suppose. It is a military facility, after all. Well, a weapons facility. We don't do military here in Starfleet. Interesting. Well, Azala, our Captain Tanan. Let's check out her sheet. So her values: always expect the unexpected. Discovery is a process, not an event. Nothing that exists is unnatural. Conflict should always be a last resort. And, I mean, Tanan has no reason to be particularly distrustful at the moment. Because whilst it's inconvenient that this incident has occurred at the time that they've arrived to deliver their equipment, it isn't necessarily indicative of anything. It's a coincidence, right? So we will probably not try and do anything to to deal with this, right? For now, we're probably just going to go. Okay, that's makes sense. It's a facility. We've told Bloea to form a medical away party to help with the incident down on the planet. Are you able to raise the facility again so I can talk to this doctor? Says Captain Tanan. And we will have to do two things here. I think first of all, we need to ask for GM a question. Can we raise the base again? Question mark. I am unsure. Well, we probably can, can't we? Not with a 92 though. So that's an exceptional no. So I think that means that for some reason the ship's communication array has failed. This is of course because, as we well know, with the USS Hope, it is a experimental vessel. So this is going to add the ref is add in, and we'll make use of a mechanic. So this is the decision that the GM has made. Is that ships communications have failed. It's not very good. I like the fact that these are clearly coming out slightly too small. Let's make that ship's comms, shall we? It's like when you got real post-it notes and you're like, I can't quite fit this word in. And as it gets close to the end, your letters get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you start kind of curving them up away from the edge, so you can get the whole word in. And then nobody can read it, and you forget what it was supposed to say, and everyone just stares at it in mute disbelief. So, besides that little observation, so if the ship's comms have failed, and that's a nuisance, isn't it? Tanan, in this particular case, is gonna get in. Do we still have internal communications? Let's check. Do we still have internal communications? I think it's likely that we still have internal communications. To chat. No. Okay. We do not have internal. All communications are down. Tanan is going to assume, she taps her hand on the side of the captain's chair for a moment, and goes, well, we're going to have to presume that our chief engineer is working on this problem. Is there anything we can do from up here? What's Azala's sheet got? She's not a great engineer. Who else have we got on the bridge? We've got Dorgan, obviously. Dorgan is on the bridge. Yeah, he's not going to be much help in this situation. But we can imagine, I think, that after our conversation, after our attempts to scan all of the systems, all the communication systems on the ship have gone down. Big nuisance. In fact, it'll be after we contacted Bloea, our chief of medicine, to get involved. That's when all of our communications went down. Question in this case. No, let's make sure we've got all our random tables ready. Oh, sugar. That was the last thing I wanted to do. Get back in there. Fiddlesticks. No, let's reopen that. Sorry, I was just messing around with my Adobe for a second. It seems like Firefox has re-added a PDF viewer, and I was very sad because I couldn't see a way of getting rid of it, disabling it. Okay, now in, where are we? Yeah, we're gonna have to go down to Mongan. Now I reckon fixing the attempting to fix the system is going to be a difficulty 2 task to get the internal ship's comms have failed. So as all the ship's comms, I reckon it's going to be difficulty 2 and difficulty 3 to get to. Should it be an extended task? That's a question. Maybe if we make it an extended task, what else do we think is happening? Let's go down our. If I turn that on, I think we should have the thingy up. If we close that a second and we double check that if that's any good. Is that any good? Yeah, that's fine. We'll probably do it being very annoying having to have the cable plugged in to the mouse, and I've not had to use this mouse in a while. I've been using a cheaper mouse, to be frank. Right. I think we should probably just make this a bit. Alright, okay. We didn't really cut off. We didn't really, in fact, cut off anything. Now I've done that. Right. Back here. I reckon let's go down to probability matrices. We've got a mission. Got advantages and complications. Random momentum spends, random threat spends. Friends and enemies. Life forms, vertebrates, invertebrates. Structural adaptations, behavioral adaptations. Morphology. Okay, let's ask her before we make a roll and we make a decision on how we're going to deal with it. Let's go ask for GM another question. Is the communication disturbance to do with the experimental nature of the ship? Question mark. I think it's likely, again. 61. Yes, okay. So it isn't that anything untoward is happening. We will. Oh, also, whilst this is down, despite the fact we know that, the GM knows that. We will have the captain will go make a standard sensor sweep, Dorgon. So Dorgon is going to do a sensor sweep using security and insight. And this will just be a difficulty 2. And they're backed up by the ship. So they are not using a focus roll. So difficulty 2, right? So that's 2 successes on Dorgan. And on the spaceship, where did the spaceship go? Come back here. There it is. There she is. So yeah, if we check here, advanced sensor sweeps means that whenever a character performs a task roll assisted by the ship sensors, the ship may roll 2d20 for assistance rather than only 1. If reserve power is rerouted to the sensors, one of these dice is set to a 1 automatically. Oh, that's it. I hadn't noticed that before. This talent cannot be used if there's a breach on the sensors. Well, there's not a breach on the sensors, so we're fine there. So, sensors science, I think. Perform task. Ships always have focus. Alright, it's 2E talent, okay. And it rolls 2 dice, but, as noted, because it's experimental, the complication range is 3. Okay, another success. So that gives us 3 successes, which gives us a point of momentum. Did I say 2? I think, yeah. No. Right, shoo. Everything needs to get out of my way. Yeah, I think I said the difficulty was 2. So here the question is, if we remember, if we go back to our scaffolding, a little bit of foundational stuff. Encounters abandoned places. Dangerous spatial phenomena. Now, it would be really nice if they had like a table for dangerous spatial phenomena. I don't think they do. Do they? Was there a table for dangerous spatial phenomena? Spatial phenomena. Spaceborne entity preferred environments, biologies. No, they don't. Okay. So the question here, I suppose, is, well, I think it makes sense that we discover the spacebound entity with this role, or the spacebound spatial phenomena. Question: is the phenomena alive? Is the phenomena a spaceborne life form? Question mark. 19. Yes. Okay. That makes life easier because we have a spaceborne entity table here. Spaceborne entity. Okay. Right. So this dangerous spatial phenomena is an entity. Oh, but then here's a question. Do we know? Well, let's see what it is first. And I think I've currently got this up so you can see it. I do. Wonderful. How unlike me. Okay, so it is a life form. D20. Roll. 11. It is patient. Space entity is patient. Up to here. Metabolic energy is crystalline energy. Okay. Crystalline energy. Never a good sign. I'm pretty sure those normally eat planets. Morphology is dark matter based. Could be anything. We've got no idea what dark matter is. Dark matter based. Okay. Oh goodness. D3, another D20. Space entities preferred environment. Random number of nebula. Okay. Preferred environment. Class 4 nebula. With the infinite diversity of space, this table presents entities Starfleet has encountered before. Okay, well, we're not worried about that table. Okay, so it's patient, it uses crystalline energy, it's dark matter based, and it prefers class 4 nebulas. Okay, this is interesting. Is there a class 4 nebula nearby? Don't know. A class 4 nebula nearby? Question mark. 39, yes. So I guess we can is the moon? It wouldn't be inside of a nebula, right? Because there's a planet next door, and the planet won't be in a nebula, right? Let's ask. Is the moon in the nebula? And I reckon this is very unlikely. Nearly impossible. Yeah. We'll give it a roll, but we'll see. No, okay. Right. We didn't think it was. So the nebula is kind of like a bit more distant, probably on the edge of the system. But this entity is coming towards the planet. Is it immediately obvious to us that it is an entity? Is it immediately obvious to our scans that it is an entity? Question mark. To chat. Yes. Okay. So it's kind of like got all these weird knobbly bits pointing off of it, and it's there. So what we see here is where's our guy? Mongan. No. Yes. Well, you're Dorgan. You're all right. Okay. Yeah, we want Dorgan. Dorgan goes. I'm detecting something strange on sensors, Captain. It's some kind of dark. The science, the readings are beyond my comprehension. It's some kind of the computers are saying dark matter entity heading in our direction. Tanan says, "Well, that can't be good. How long until it arrives?" How long until it arrives? Speed of a plot. It's difficult to say, Captain. It's traveling in our direction at high impulse speeds. It'll be here within the hour. Okay. That's definitely doesn't sound very good. Any idea why it's heading in our direction? No, Captain. Well, this sounds like another coincidental issue for us to deal with. Okay. Let me have a look. So, she's going to try and she heads over to the sensors in kind of like a Captain Janeway kind of I know how science works kind of way. And she takes a look at the sensors because of course we can't contact anyone else, and she probably is the ranking science officer on the ship because that's her background. She's a very clever little scientist. Well, we don't need the PDF on the screen anymore, do we? She's a very clever little scientist. And so, let's say difficulty 4 to figure out anything useful about this entity. This now feels like a time that we need to set up a extended task, right? So let's click here, and the extended task will be arrival of the space entity, and in Foundry we can create fiddlesticks, I fat fingered that, didn't I? Delete that. Yeah, shoot. What did I call it? Arrival. Encounter with the entity. Right. Create new. Goodness. I'm such an idiot. Can I just change? No, I can't. I need to do that again. Third time for charm, right? I'll pick the right one. Encounter with the entity. Okay, click here, click here. There we go. Extended task. So the extended task, I feel, is configured for the old way of making tasks. So in the old, in version first edition, I think extended tasks burnt down in kind of a linear fashion, where as if the breakthroughs were at linear points, whereas now, where is it? Extended tasks. Let's give you this back, this view back, right? Extended tasks. Detailed in 271. Oh, there we go. So now, yeah, extended tasks aren't necessarily evenly placed through the thing, and we're also expected to the impact is expected to increase as you go through the task. Okay, guidance on how Game Masters generate extended tasks is in Game Mastering 2.3.3.2.9. Okay. Oh, it started there already. I think I did it. Breakthroughs. Okay. Because extended tasks represent the result of several tasks strung together, the overall consequences for failure are much greater and much more significant than might be the case for a single task. Never spring these consequences on a player unexpectedly. A character should go into the extended task understanding the risks involved, because it's even more dramatic if characters knowingly risks or sacrifice their life. Yeah. So breakthrough effects. The difficulty goes. The extended task difficulty is increased or reduced by 1. Hindrance. The extended task resistance is increased or reduced by 1. Progress. The next roll made against the problem gains +2 impact. Okay. Effect on scene. The problem reduces the difficulty of the task elsewhere. Create a trait. Okay. Event. The problem is tied to a specific occurrence in the scene. We're not really using consequences. They haven't really gone into breakthroughs on there, though, have they? Extended consequences. Extended tasks. Breakthrough effects. They haven't told us how often we should have breakthroughs, though, which is this is a decision. I mean, maybe if we just search for breakthrough, that might work. Copy, find. Breakthrough. Next, 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 next. No, no, no. An extended task, which takes multiple roles to complete, measuring both ongoing progress and a series of breakthroughs. It is ideal for complex problems that need to be overcome under pressure. Okay, cool. An extended consequence, breakthroughs. It was probably here a little while ago. Normally, an extended task doesn't change when you mark off spaces on the progress track. At the Game Master's discretion, however, a progress track can include breakthroughs. These are points along the progress task. I mean, I don't see any point in using an extended task if you're not going to use breakthroughs or consequences. It seems like a waste of energy. An extended task has 2 breakthrough spaces. The first, halfway along the track, on the 6th space, if it's a 12 spaces long, for example, and if the track is an odd number of spaces, round up. Yeah. Okay. The second breakthrough is 3/4 of the way through. So now there's always, if you're going to use breakthroughs, there are always 2 breakthroughs, and they should always be at the half point and the 3/4 point, right? Was that it? Yeah, the half point and the 3/4 point. So, for simplicity's sake, if we used 12, that means we have a breakthrough at 6, breakthrough at 6, and a breakthrough at 9, right? And we have, I didn't mean breakthrough 12. The breakthrough number doesn't actually matter anymore. Breakthrough 3. Breakthrough 2. Magnitude doesn't exist anymore. There is difficulty and resistance. So, start off at difficulty 2, resistance 1. What did it say? This is what happens when we're trying to use the exciting things. At breakthrough 6, because what should happen with breakthrough 6? Difficulty +1. No change in resistance. Difficulty +1. Resistance +1. That sounds straightforward enough. Also, this is just for understanding what's going on with the beastie. Let's turn that off for a second. Did I just turn it off? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check. No, you're still here. Go away. Right. Top bananas. Top bananas. Right. Okay. Breakthroughs. Shield tracks. Okay, here we go. So at at difficulty 6, create difficulty 6 at point 6. Maybe resistance +1 as well. Yeah. We'll do that for both of them. Now we are just stealing off my bridge's progress. At this point, entity arrives at USS Hope's location. Entity begins to attack the USS Hope with damage 10, damage 10 raise. Right? Sounds like a thing, right? Okay. So, first thing we're going to do, she, of course, is going to perform a task. Difficulty 2. And it'll be using her... have we got anything here? Xenobiology? Not really. Anthropology? No. Cultural science? Temporal? Temporal is more to do with time, and dark matter really isn't to do with time. Applied research. What does that do? We have to check these again, aren't we? Applied research. Once per scene, when you attempt a task which relates to information you've received earlier that scene. So no, we can't use this yet. We haven't received any information. Learn from failure. When you fail a science task, you may add 3 for it to create a trait. Now, this could be useful at some point during this little altercation. Reason discourse. You're precise and succinct with language. This isn't going to be useful right now. Okay, so for initially, she's going to attempt to do a spectral analysis of the composition of the incoming entity. Right now, you can get some easy points here. So she's going to spend a point of momentum and 2 points of threat to get 2 extra dice to her roll, and she's using the ship's sensors. This means she gets to get another 2 on the ship. So, but she doesn't have a focus. Yeah, she doesn't have a focus that'll help right yet. Roll dice. Wow, pretty lame roll. But she got 2. Oh, what does technical expertise do? We can re-roll 1 dice. Okay. So she's got 2 successes for herself, and the ship rolls 2 dice. 2 dice, perform task. And the ship always has a focus, and the complication range is always 3. Okay, so the ship got 2 successes as well. Takes us up to 4 successes, but we get to re-roll 1 dice. Re-roll result, 1 dice. 10. That gives us another success. So that's given us 5 successes against a difficulty 2. And we impact the roll by 5. But by default it has a resistance of 1. So that's a 4 by default. And we succeeded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the starting difficulty was 2, right? Okay, 5. So we succeeded by 3 points, which means I'll spend 2 momentum to get an extra point of progress. It definitely seems fascinating. We've never really seen anything quite like it before. The structure would indicate a very sophisticated development cycle. I wonder how this thing came into existence. Probably going forward, we can probably use xenobiology. Go to yellow alert, so the ship go beep 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 beep, and we raise our shields because it's heading directly for us. So as a next roll, if we remember, we still haven't actually got access to our communication system yet. So let's see if if Mongun can deal with the problem that he's dealing with there. So, and I think having at back would be control engineering, probably reason engineering, right? Probably insight engineering. New ship, new things go wrong. He doesn't have access to. I've got access to 1 point of momentum, so he'll spend that point of momentum. So this is a difficulty 3 roll. Repair team leader is going to be a focus that you can use. What does this do? Chief engineer. While aboard the ship, chief engineer always had the advantage. Engineering department, which represents the ship's complement of thingamajigs. Okay. All right. Yes, of course, it's an advantage. Oh, so I reckon that brings the difficulty down to 2, because he's got the advantage of the engineering department. So we roll on him, so he gets 2 dice. He does have a focus roll. So he got 1 success, so he needs 1 more success from the ship. This is the ship, right? That's the ship. So he gets a structure. Oh, probably communications, actually. Communications engineering check. Perform task. 1 dice. Oh, hold on. Yeah, 1 dice. And the ship always gets a focus. Go on. Good. Whew. That's 2 successes, which means he actually... we didn't use that point of momentum in the end. This means that the issue with the ship's communications has been resolved. Let's just take that off the board. So engineering is fixed for communications. That's been going on in the side. And he's kind of like radioing up to the Captain, this is engineering. I have restored the communication systems. Oh, thank goodness! You couldn't have been any better with your timing. We currently have a problem up here on the bridge. Some kind of strange space-based entity is heading on a direct course for us. I'd appreciate your perspective on its structural configuration, if you wouldn't mind reviewing the sensors. Of course, Captain. So, where did Morgan... Not Morgan. Where's our... It was Morgan. Did I close him? I think I did close him. I closed him. Because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Shoo. Where did Morgan go? Come back here. Come back, Morgan. You've got a job to do. Oh, I gave Lesser, that Helms operator, a picture. There you go. Unfortunately, Orions are only in the Klingon section of Star Trek Online, so she had to have an Orion uniform. These things happen. Right. He's going to give us a insight engineering. He's attempting to understand its physical composition. None of these help, but he does get the support of the engineering department. So all the engineering department team is taking a look at it. Should probably bear those in mind. Probably note them down at the side. Difficulty 2. So I think in this case he's going to spend 1 momentum and 2 threat. So one thing that I kind of figure is that you may as well get as much momentum, as many impacts as you can at the lower level, because it'll be more of a pain in the ass to get more impact later on. So buying that insight engineering, he's got 4 dice. 4 dice. Doesn't have a focus again, which is a bit annoying. Roll. Oof, that was close. That was close. 4 successes on him, and then we get to roll the ship. USS Hope. No, that's the wrong thing. We get to roll on the ship. Where did I put the ship? I closed the ship because I'm an idiot. Let's get the ship back. Can I click on here? No, I can't. That's a shame. USS Hope. Here we go. USS Hope is going to do a sensors engineering. Oh, because it's sensors, we get the 2 dice as well. Though it's a mixed blessing rolling with 2 dice, right? Because we've got an increased threat generator there. Oh, nice roll. Very nice roll. That's another 3 successes. So that gives us... This is what I mean, where it's probably better to generate as many successes as possible early on. Feels like a bit of a bug in the game. So that's 7. Minus 2 for the difficulty. 5 momentum generated. And we will spend 4 of those momentum to get us some extra points. And Mongun's engineering is 4. So that would be 3. And we bought 2 extra points, so that gives us 5 on the chart. So we go through 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that we blew straight past those two barriers, right? So we've gone through both breakpoints. So the ship zoomed into our current location at full impulse, and is now face to face with us, and it zaps the ship, right? So it zaps the ship for 10 damage. Now we are in a fortunate position. So we are a scale 6 ship. So we take 4 points of shield damage, right? So that take us... Okay, right, we're there. Okay, right, so we took 4 points of shield damage. Because that's what these things do. They always buzz you, right? Now, the difficulty has gone up by 2, and the resistance has gone up by 2. So it is now a difficulty 4 roll and a resistance 3 roll. Now, then we're going to go back to the captain, and what she's trying to do is she's trying to figure out how to communicate to this entity to inform it that we're chill, right? She's going to use xenobiology to start to have an understanding of the entity's thought processes, and we're going to try and open up a dialogue. That's what we're going to try and do. Azala Tanan. So this is going to be science. Science insight. So it's not her strongest pair, but she does get the xenobiology bonus. And I think we get applied research now. Because we've found out more via that. Obtain information. Oh, right, oh no, it has to have come from the obtain information question, so it doesn't count. But what we are going to do is we're going to spend 1 point of momentum and we're going to not down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points of momentum. 5 points of momentum. So that gives us 5 rolls on Tanan's roll. Yoink. She does have a focus. She isn't using why does it say using determination / value? I have to check something after this. Okay, so she gets 5 successes. So that's plus 1 success. And the ship gives us a roll. Have I closed the ship again? No, there it is. Come back. Perfect. Sensors, science. Go on. Cool. Perform a task. 2 dice. 3. Always has a focus. Roll. So that gives us another 2 successes. So that gives us 7 successes against a difficulty 4. So that leaves us with 3 momentum. And then her thing is 5, which gives us enough to break through this encounter. And I think this is going to give us open dialogue with space entity. The entity doesn't fire back at the USS Hope as Tanan completes a complex series of kind of multispectral subspace frequencies and beep boops it at the ship, at the space entity, and moments later. There's a beep boop of a screen above it, and she goes, "Aha! It's opened contact," and that will be where we close off this episode, where we have opened dialogue with the space entity, and we've got no farther in dealing with the issue on the planet. But you know, these things happen. I didn't expect all our communications to go down. Anyway, hopefully that was interesting. We got a bit of the old beep boop on the old extended task. We had a little bit of a read of the manual as we try to figure out what to do with stuff. And yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for your time. And we will be back again, hopefully, to progress deeper into this pilot episode. But you know, the first couple of times you play around with something like this solo, it's always a bit longer, right? So cool. Thank you for your time. Have a great one. See you later. Bye-bye.